connect a region of over 600 million bridges between our lands.
Hello and welcome to ASEAN in Focus. I'm Maricar Velasco, delivering to you the latest news in and around the ASEAN region. On today's headlines, the Department of Justice, or DOJ, will file a motion for reconsideration before the Makati Regional Trial Court as it sought a partial reversal of Judge Andres Soriano's decision that junked an earlier government motion for an arrest warrant against Senator Antonio Trillanes IV. Malaysia's former leader Najib Razak and an ally were Thursday charged with allegedly looting $1.6 billion of public money, the latest accusations against figures from the scandal-plagued old regime. And in the heart of Hanoi's busy old quarter, French-built railroad tracks have become a hotspot for tourists seeking the perfect Instagram selfie and cafe owners serving up a hot coffee. The Department of Justice, or DOJ, will file a motion for reconsideration before the Makati Regional Trial Court as it sought a partial reversal of Judge Andres Soriano's decision that junked an earlier government motion for an arrest warrant against Senator Antonio Trillanes IV. Justice Secretary Minardo Guevara said the motion for partial reconsideration of the order of Makati Regional Trial Court Branch 148 will be filed not later than Friday, October 26. In a statement, Guevara said that the DOJ will file the motion for reconsideration to question the Makati Court's ruling only insofar as it found that Senator Trillanes had sufficiently shown that he filed his certificate of amnesty. He had already directed Acting Prosecutor General Richard Fadulyon to prepare the motion and inform the Office of the Solicitor General about the DOJ's move. Fadulyon said they are considering this time to exhaust all remedies at the Regional Trial Court. He said that the DOJ is maintaining its position that the decision of the Makati Court dismissing the coup d'etat case against Trillanes in September 2011 cannot attain finality as it was based on a void premise. He said that Judge Soriano's ruling dismissing the DOJ's motion for an arrest warrant against Trillanes was based on the premise that the opposition senator had complied with all the requirements for a grant of amnesty. Malaysia's former leader Najib Razak and an ally were Thursday charged with allegedly looting $1.6 billion of public money, the latest accusations against figures from the scandal-plagued old regime. Najib has now been hit with 38 charges since losing power, most of them related to allegations that he and his cronies plundered vast sums from sovereign wealth fund 1MDB. The scandal played a major part in prompting voters to oust his coalition at elections in May after 6 decades in power and elect a reformist alliance headed by Mahathir Mohamad. Najib was jointly charged in a Kuala Lumpur court with ex-senior finance ministry official Muhammad Irwan Sirigar Abdullah with 6 counts of criminal breach of trust. They denied all charges. The crimes involved 6.6 billion ringgit or $1.6 billion of public money and allegedly took place between December 2016 and December 2017. Each charge is punishable by up to 20 years in jail. Local media reported that some of the money was used to pay debts owed by 1MDB to Abu Dhabi Sovereign Wealth Fund IPIC. The Malaysian fund slid into a massive debt hole as a huge sum of money were allegedly stolen and used to buy everything from a super yacht to high-end real estate and pricey artworks. The U.S. Department of Justice, which is seeking to seize assets allegedly bought with looted 1MDB money in America, alleges that a total of $4.5 billion was misappropriated from the fund. Another key Najib ally, former spy chief Hassan Abdul Hamid, is expected to be charged in court later Thursday. The former prime minister's luxury-loving wife, Rosma Mansour, and the new leader of his party and longtime Lieutenant Ahmad Zahid Hamidi have also been arrested and charged. A genocide is still underway against Myanmar's Rohingya Muslims, a UN fact-finding team said Wednesday as it presented a report at the Security Council calling for the matter to be referred to the International Criminal Court. Marzuki Darusman, chair of the UN fact-finding mission on Myanmar, told a press conference that beyond mass killings, the conflict included the ostracization of the targeted population, prevention of births, and widespread displacement in camps. Darusman said they consider the genocide intent be reasonably inferred. The fact-finding mission's explosive 444-page report was first made public last month. It called on the Council to refer the Myanmar situation to the International Criminal Court in The Hague or to create an ad hoc International Criminal Tribunal, as was done with the former Yugoslavia. The report said that Myanmar's top generals, including Commander-in-Chief Min Aung Hlaing, must be investigated and prosecuted for genocide in Rakhine State. Myanmar has rejected accusations that its military committed atrocities in the crackdown last year that forced 720,000 Rohingya to flee over the border to Bangladesh. The conflict has also seen some 390 villages destroyed and 10,000 Rohingya killed, said Darusman. Darusman adds the conditions are not in place for a safe, dignified and sustainable return of the Rohingyas in Bangladesh. He warns adding any attempt would just risk more deaths. He also adds Myanmar's internal inquiries have proven to be ineffective failures so far. The UN Special Envoy to Myanmar, Christine Schreiner-Bergerner, said accountability is one of the two important pillars for national reconciliation, and the other, inclusive dialogue. The Myanmar government rejected the UN mission's findings, questioning its independence and pointing out that it had established itself an independent investigative commission made up of Asian diplomats.
The government is increasingly demonstrating that it has no interest and capacity in establishing a fully functioning democracy where all its people equally enjoy all their rights and freedom.
Nothing has fundamentally changed over the past one year, since August of 2017. It is an ongoing genocide that is taking place at the moment.
Two Chilean tourists are facing the death penalty in Malaysia for allegedly killing a Malaysian man in a hotel lobby less than 24 hours after they arrived in the country for a holiday on August 4 last year. The two tourists were named as Fernando Candia, a 32-year-old chef, and Felipe Osiadax, 28. The government recently pledged to abolish capital punishment, but MPS have not yet voted to approve the changes. Both men who are being held in prison have pleaded not guilty, and their lawyers claim they acted in self-defense after the Malaysian attacked them first. Their defense teams have sought a review of the charge. Prosecutors initially set Wednesday for a decision, but it was postponed to an unspecified date. It was not clear what caused the delay, with defense lawyer Venkateswari Alagendra saying she said had not received any updates from the Attorney General's chambers. Venkateswari said if the charge was reduced and her clients accepted, they would plead guilty to the new charge. The men have already been in custody for more than a year, so pleading guilty to a reduced charge could in theory see them walk free soon. The lawyer said she hoped to get a response from the prosecutors before the next trial dates, which are set for 2 days from November 14. At least 10 prosecution witnesses have taken the stand so far, including a toxicologist who found traces of drugs in the urine and blood of the deceased. The prosecution case, however, is expected to be completed by November, with 3 more witnesses remaining, including a policeman and a doctor.
And now we are hoping for a better review and reduction of the charge. Well, if the charge is reduced and it is something that the clients are willing to accept, then they can plead guilty to the reduced charge if they want to accept that.
Join the EBC Family Fun Run November 18, 2018 at the Ciudad de Victoria Complex, Bulacan. Choose from race categories: 1.062 kilometer, 2.5 kilometers, 5 kilometers, and 9.55 kilometers. Registration is ongoing. For more details, log on to www.eaglenews.ph/EBC Fun Run or call 784-7450, local 1162. You may also visit www.facebook.com/EBC Fun Run. EBC Family Fun Run.
Federalismo. Maraming mga bansang mauunlad ang nasa ilalim ng sistemang federalismo gaya ng Switzerland, Germany, United States of America, Canada, at Australia. Sa federalismo na kanilang ginagamit, binago nila ang sistema para tumugma sa mga pangangailangan ng kanilang bansa.
A Khmer Rouge-era jailer who was at first to be convicted in an ongoing Cambodian war crimes tribunal is ill in hospital. This according to a prison official. Kaing Guav Ayav, better known as Rouge, is serving out a life sentence for his role in managing a Phnom Penh detention center where thousands were incarcerated, tortured, and sent to their deaths in nearby killing fields. The Factory of Death, as the S-21 prison was known, was at the heart of the security apparatus of the Khmer Rouge, an ultra-Maoist regime that ruled from 1975 to 1979 and killed almost a quarter of the population through enslavement, overwork, and execution. Rouge was sent to a prison in Cambodia's Kandal province after an appeal extended his original decades-long sentence to life in 2012. Chat Sineang, director of the Kandal prison, told media that Rouge had been undergoing treatment for respiratory problems since October 20 and was moved from a provincial treatment facility to a capital, Phnom Penh. He adds he is still at the Russian Friendship Hospital, describing his condition as quite serious because he is 76 as of the moment. He later said that Rouge's health had deteriorated by Wednesday afternoon and is currently in the intensive care unit. The former mathematics teacher turned torturer was arrested in 1999 after being discovered working for a Christian aid agency under a false name. His eventual trial was followed closely, and the conviction was seen as a historic milestone for victims seeking long-delayed justice. Numerous books and films have probed Rouge's life and his time as S-21, which has been converted into a museum. During the proceedings, Rouge asked for forgiveness, but also he said he was not a senior member of the Khmer Rouge and should be acquitted. The UN-backed trial in Phnom Penh has been tainted by its limited scope since it started more than a decade ago, recording only 3 convictions, including Rouge's. The Chamber of Automotive Manufacturers of the Philippines, or CAMPI, disclosed that its member companies have expected a combined drop in sales by 14% this year compared to the 2017 figure. On the sidelines of the 7th Philippine International Motor Shows in Pasay City, Campi Vice President Santos said members have accepted the industry's sales performance will fall behind what was achieved in 2017. Campi and Truck Manufacturers Association recorded a total of 425,673 unit sales last year. Santos explained that an anticipation of a substantial price increase under the tax reform for acceleration and inclusion or train law at the beginning of the current year had caused many to buy their cars in the latter part of 2017. The Campi executive said the current environment of higher prices of basic goods pushed by higher inflation on food and oil products and increasing interest rates, among others, affected the appetite of consumers on buying vehicles. Despite these challenges in the local industries this year, Santos said the group remains optimistic about the Philippine economy given its solid macroeconomic fundamentals.
I am here at Gastown, which is a National Historic Site in Vancouver, British Columbia. Located in Vancouver's oldest neighborhood is the steam-powered clock, which is Gastown's most famous landmark. Make sure to tune in to Digital Nest every Tuesday and Thursday at 7:30 p.m. I am Lou Aquino, EBC correspondent, and I am 1 with 25.
Hey, Net25 kids, you love to draw? Join me, James Reyes, and kids around the world on Time to Draw Live right here on Net25.
Time to Draw Live!
I think a lot of people, they see images of celebrities, personalities, say, oh, I want to be like that, I want to dress like that, but that's not who you are, what's the point? Why are you trying to be somebody you don't know? You don't need to be perfect, you don't need to buy brands, you don't need to have lots of money to have a cool outfit.
Welcome back. In the heart of Hanoi's busy old quarter, French-built railroad tracks have become a hotspot for tourists seeking the perfect Instagram selfie and cafe owners serving up a hot coffee. Though picturesque, they are also perilous. The tracks are still in use, and most days, visitors must scramble for safety as the daily train rumbles through. But for many, the thrill of dodging a speedy train is part of the appeal. The tracks were first built by former colonial rulers, France, who used the railway to transport goods and people across Vietnam, then part of Indochina along with Laos and Cambodia. Later during the Vietnam War, parts of the railway were badly damaged by American bombs that rained down on communist-ruled land in the north. Today, the original meter gauge tracks are still a central mode of transport for tourists and travelers seeking a cheaper transport option. However, in the past few years, visitors to Hanoi found a new use for the tracks, the perfect backdrop from postcard-perfect pictures from their travels. Hemmed in by houses and cafes, the tracks offer a unique charm for budding travel photographers and a business opportunity for makeshift cafe owners who have set up shop. Soon the train rumbled by and everyone pulled their phones out to capture the frenzy.
never seen anything like this before. It was amazing but scary in the same sense.
Yeah, it's got a really weird charm to it. You've got flowers from the balconies coming down. You've got buildings which are very old and very close to each other. And you see people, you know, living their normal life next to a train track, which, you know, a train comes through a few times a day. It's just so crazy. And when the train comes by, they just pack their things. And then after the train leaves, as if nothing had happened, they carry on with their lives.
Former U.S. Open champion Sloane Stephens overcame Galan Kiki Bertens in another marathon match at the WTA Finals, a result which breathes life into Japanese sensation Naomi Osaka's teetering Singapore campaign. The American struggled mid-match but fought back from an early break in the third set to prevail 7-6, 2-6, 6-3 in 2 hours and 20 minutes. It was the result crowd favorite Osaka needed after she fell to number 1 seed Angelique Kerber in a 3-set classic to put her on the brink of elimination. Like white group, all players from red group can still qualify for the semifinals, although winless Osaka will need to rely on results to get through. World number 6 Stephens has moved into pole position after her second straight victory. It was the 6th consecutive match to go to the distance at the unpredictable WTA Finals. A sharp-moving Stephens started well and methodically constructed points to rattle Bertens before the Dutchwoman clawed back into the contest. In the tournament's first tie break, Stephens took advantage of a misfiring Bertens to draw first blood. A gritty Bertens hit back in the second set, working Stephens around the court to take control of the rallies. A demoralized Stephens had no answer, and her slump continued into the deciding set, where she was broken in the second game. However, the twist continued, with Stephens coming back from nowhere to break twice and reel off 4 straight games. Bertens only qualified just days before the tournament after world number 1 Simona Halep withdrew due to injury. And that is the latest news in the Southeast Asian nations. Stay updated about the ASEAN region. I'm Maricar Velasco, and I am 1 with 25.